I'm having another one of those moments where I don't know why I bought a particular art supply. This Jovi clay, or Jovi clay, however you want to say it, I bought this probably 2 years ago. I made a really stupid video on making a really stupid little clay monster. It didn't turn out very good, and yeah. I'm not the best with clay. I can do very simple and limited work with it, but yeah, it's not something that I'm very passionate about and really want to do in life when it comes to art, is clay. But I found this again when we moved here and I don't want to waste it. What I'm going to do today, I actually stumbled across videos on how to make your own palette, watercolor palette. So I'm actually going to give it a go and see if I can turn this clay into a functioning or even half functioning watercolor palette. The reason why I've decided to do this is because I have been hunting online for a skull watercolor palette, paint palette. I can't find one. All I can find is pretty little flower ones or other ones that are just, I don't know, I don't want a flower one. Everyone's got one. I don't want to be like everybody else. I'm gonna see if this works. Now, I don't know if it's just going to be clay. And I was talking to my mum and she's got this varnish that she swears to God I could tip over this, and she said she has spilt so much shit on it and it hasn't soaked up any color whatsoever. So I'm going to put this to the test. I'm actually going to make a watercolor palette out of just clay and varnish, and we'll see how it goes. I've already sketched up a template. What I'm actually going to do is, it's this one here. I thought about doing this, but I think that's a little bit too complicated and I run the risk of these breaking off, which no. I'm going to do this, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to now go to my computer and I'm going to, well, I'm going to take a photo of this first. I'm going to upload it to my computer, then I'm going to put it through CORELDRAW, and then I'm going to make a symmetrical drawing of this. So I have a template to go by, and then I can mold the clay around that. So let's go to my computer. Okay, so I'm in CORELDRAW. This is the program where I do all my felt patterns in and everything. And yeah, this is a really nifty program. I don't know how to use it like to its fullest potential, but as I go, I sort of just learn how to do it. So basically what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get the circle, what's it called? The ellipse tool, and I'm going to basically do a circle like that first, and I'll try to get it as close to that as possible, just so I have a bit more of a guide. Now, probably the next thing I do to get this curve here is I probably do a rectangle like this, and then I will go in and bring the corners in with this particular little tool up the top here. See, as you go along, it just really curves the edges. So I'll do that. 10, is that good enough? Yeah, well that's not too bad. So what I might even do is bring this circle down a little bit more so it's not super exactly rounded, so then it sort of meets like that. What I usually do is then I'll just drop this down, And I just want to make sure this is like even from here and here. And how I usually do that is just by my eye. Nothing fancy, I just do it by eye and hope to God it is right. I think that's about even, I think. Let's have a look. I'm hoping. Like there's probably a way to, in this program, to do it so it's like super duper even, but I have no clue. I don't know how to do that yet. I just do everything the hard way. So now what I do is I'll go to shaping and I will weld that piece to that, and then it brings it out like that. So it welds it all together. What I will probably do now is I'll move that over there and I will try and make it the size that I want. Now this could be a bit of a trial and error because I'll probably have to print it out and just see. I don't want it overly big. I just want one that's about, I think what the little flower ones are about 13 centimeters long, so, or wide or whatever you want to call it. So I kind of just want it that size. I don't want anything too big. So the only thing I can do now is I might just make that line weight a bit thicker, just like that, and then print that out and just see if that's it. Now, okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm now just going to be putting in the holes into it, just so I have a bit of a guideline of where I want everything to sort of be, and sort of just working with these anchor points and that to get it as close as possible to what I envision. What I only usually do is I usually only just do the one side, and then I'll just sort of flip it. Although I've got these parts here, which, yeah, it's probably not going to make it too even, but I will do my best. Am I even making sense? I don't think I am. Now, the only problem I've got now is I don't want these too close to each other. I don't know what's going to happen. I want to have a decent barrier between them, so I don't want to get them too close. Okay, so how I would probably do the nose here is I would do a circle like that, and then I'd probably do another circle, and then I will just sort of spin it, push it down a bit, bring it up a bit, and then go over to the shaping and then weld those two together. And then what I'll do now is I'll just bring up the line weight so I know what I'm working with. And I will, oh shit, I hate when that happens. I will then get these little anchor points to the best of my ability. And then what I'll do now is I will just copy and then paste, and then I'll flip it. Put it there like that. I'll make sure that's even. That looks like it there, and then I will weld that to that. And then I will just get rid of all this, and then sort of just maybe bring that down a little bit like that. So it's like that. So I'll have like a fairly sort of unique little watercolor divot there. but I probably will change that at the last minute when I go to put it onto the actual clay itself. So now I'll just bring this over here and I'll just bring it out and stretch it out. Don't want to get too close to those corners. Like I said, I don't know what's gonna happen. I have no idea. Oh, shit. Okay, so copy, and we'll paste that, and what we'll do is I'll flip that now, and then I'll bring it to this side. Once again, I'll go in and see if it looks even by eye. I'll just copy one of these and put it there, and once again, line it up by eye. So I've got some smaller little ones, I've got a big one if I want to mix up big amounts of color, and yeah, just got some different sizes there, which yeah, will hopefully be good for me to have a watercolor palette with. Voila, there we go. I think we have a watercolor palette stencil right now. So yeah. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I just found this plastic sleeve. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this into the plastic sleeve. All right, so there we go. It's in a plastic sleeve. There's some holes in it, but it's all good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shape the clay around that. Then once I do that, I am then going to, I'm going to print out another one, and I'm going to cut out all these. And then I just realized that that's really uneven. I'm going to be back. I'm going to have to go fix that. Alright, a little bit of an embarrassment there. I realised the nose wasn't centered either, so now I have fixed my problem. There we go. So yeah, there we go. Clay on that one, cut out these, and then put that on top, and then then go inside these, and then just sort of trace onto the clay where I'm going to put these divots. And yeah, that's it. So let's get this out of its package and get going. All right, so I have cut the template out of all the little holes and everything. I've gotten my green board, which I think I'm pretty sure I used this for the last clay thing that I did. I've got that. I've got some tools just in case I need them. I'm pretty sure I'm only gonna need these, but you just never know. And I've got some water, and well, that's what I'll use to put the water into it. But let's start. See how hard, I'm pretty sure this may have gone a little bit hard. So this is air dry clay. I don't know if I've mentioned that before. Just get some water into this because it is definitely hardened. Oh God, I don't even know if these are gonna go together. Starting to be a little bit doubtful here. Really wet the shit out of these. The way it is now, these are not going together. They're not squashing together. I don't know if there's a better way to do this, but I wouldn't have a clue. So for all you people out there who do clay, and you're probably screaming at me through your monitor, Don't. This is my way. This is how I do things. I do things the hard way. It's what I do. Far out. I think I'm slowly getting there. I've just got to really add a shitload of water. This has been 20 minutes of just doing this and adding water and just kneading it some more. Oh my god. I'm actually sweating. Who knew this was gonna be so much hard work? Trying to get the clay as smooth as possible. So is gonna be no, well, I'm hoping to get a flawless finish, but that'll never happen with me doing it. But hey, even if we get some cracks in it, that will add some character. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that consistency. So I think it's time to mold this into a palette. Let's get my palette template, push it in. All right, now I can sit down. Ugh. But I must admit, I don't mind the mess I'm making. Now I'm just trying to smooth out the edges because I don't want to like jagged edge around there. I just want a nice smooth edge around here. So it looks fairly even. Now I'm just cutting down a little bit. I'm not cutting down too far because I don't want it to go to the bottom. I think that's probably a good depth. Let's now smooth this out. All right, let's take the template off and see, oh God, what we have. It's a little bit wet. Oh, wow. So far, I'm happy with that. Trying to just really smooth it out and try and retain those shapes that I had, because like that was the key. I am going to be like sanding it a little bit, but if I can do most of the work now, that would be super. And then once I am happy with it, the drying process will start, and I don't know how long this is going to take to dry because the weather's pretty crappy here at the moment, with a bit of rain around, so hopefully not too long, but yeah, we'll have to see, but I'll keep you posted. All right, the drying begins. So this has been exactly a week since I made this. I made this last Monday. It is now the following Monday, and I have had this thing out in the sun for 4 days, and I think it's dry. It's taken It's taken a while to dry. I cannot believe how long it has taken to dry, but I blame that on the weather at the moment because we are having rainy days and plus it's winter. We've had a bit of cracking there in the eye and across here, but you know, that's all good. Like I said before, it could add character to it, so I'm going to attempt now to sand this back and try and get it as smooth as possible. So hopefully this doesn't break and it doesn't go pear-shaped. So this is about as smooth as I'm going to get it because I don't mind the little imperfections and that because it's just like me. So this is what I'm going to be using, this water-based clear wood varnish. I don't know if this is gonna work, but we'll find out. I reckon it's quick drying, but I still think it takes quite a bit of time to dry. Here we go. This is either going to be a complete failure or it's going to be a success. So I'll put that on there like that, and I'm going to elevate it a bit so there is a little bit of drippage. Don't mind my partner, he's mowing at the moment, and don't mind me using dog clippers to open a tin of paint with or varnish with, because I'm too lazy to walk out to the garage to get a screwdriver. That's coat one. Coat number two. Okay, this is the third layer now of varnish. This actually requires, like anything you paint with this varnish requires a minimum of 2 layers, but I want to give it a decent coat because it's gonna have water in it. So I don't want any water getting into that clay. This is the finished product. It's been 2 weeks since I started to make this thing. It doesn't take 2 weeks to do all this. That's a bit overkill. It's only because I've let it dry and then I've been doing other things in the meantime. I really wanted it to dry properly though and just make sure that everything was okay. I did do a sealer on the back just in case some water got up under here. Plus, I noticed that I tried to pick one of these little bubbles off here, these drips here, and it actually pulled up like a skin. So it hasn't really, like it has stuck to the clay, but it hasn't fully like stuck to the clay. So it's sort of just acting like a bit of a skin over the clay. So I ended up just putting a bit more of the varnish in there, sealing it back up, and then I did this coat here to sort of stick this sort of skin down so it doesn't come back up again. other than that, I'm pretty happy with how things went, and let's test it now. Let's see if this was worth the wait. I just got a little bit of paper here. So I'm gonna try a tube watercolor in it, and I'm also just gonna try a palette watercolor in it as well and see how we go. The biggest thing that I wanna test is I wanna see if this is going to stain. I wanna see if the varnish is going to be like replicating a ceramic, and see if it's going to stain. All right, so we'll just paint a bit here and there, just pretend we're doing a paint session. I'll get like a red and I'll put it in here, because red's a really stainy color, so we'll see. I'm just going to walk away for a couple of hours now and just see if this can stay in there and it's gonna be okay. The plan is to clean this out and see what's happened. The blue stained a little bit, but the red didn't stain at all, and I don't know if that's because it was a tube color and the tube colors are more concentrate, or what, but it's just down to more testing. So I'll just keep testing it over, you know, quite a few videos, and then I'll do an update on it and tell you how I really feel about it. So far, it's good. So far, that's pretty cool. Like it's doing its job and I'm pretty happy with it. So if you've got these supplies at home and you don't want to waste certain things, you're better off just making your own. And it is fun. Like, you can create any pattern you want, and it's just gonna do the job of a ceramic one with a little bit of stainage, but you've got your own custom palette. Wow. It is possible to make a paint palette with 2 ingredients, 2 materials, and you have yourself a custom palette. I am out of here, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.